Hey, what's up, everybody? True Boxing here. Thank you for coming back to get hit with the truth. So, today I want to discuss the what's next on the former three-division world champion, two-time Olympic gold medalist Vasyl Lomachenko, following his dominating ninth-round TKO victory, which I called over Masahiro Nakatani. He absolutely picked apart Nakatani, beat him up, dominated him, and stopped him in the ninth round. And now the big question is, what's next for Vasyl Lomachenko following that win? Well, the talk is already up that by December we're going to be seeing Lomachenko and Lopez too for the undisputed lightweight championship of the world. Now that's not official, but it's looking that way. Lopez is fighting George Kambosos Jr. in August now because COVID hit Lopez, so now he's got to fight Kambosos in August instead of June as originally planned. And once he's done with that mandatory, he's going to need a few months more because the originally scheduled date for Lopez's next fight was in October, so he'll probably need a little more to fight Lomachenko in their rematch, and I hope that is the case. But let's run through the top 10 to see if there's any other options in case this fight falls through, because, hey, to be honest, Lopez has been running from Lomachenko ever since their fight last year, calling him out. Well, we start with the top 10, and Lopez is number one. Now, I think this fight is the most realistic. I called it after. I said Lopez is going to have to fight Lomachenko because all the other fighters, all the other big names at lightweight, you're going to have to cross the street and make a big deal to get that fight. And most of them, to be honest, one, the Gervonta Davis fight is just not going to happen because Mayweather and the PBC are not going to work with Top Rank to make that fight go down. It's sad, but true. So let's take that off the table. Now, the other fights that would be more possible would be like Ryan Garcia and Devin Haney. The thing is those would be great fights, and I want to see them. But those fights aren't juicy yet. And you know why? Because both those guys only have one big win on their record right now. Garcia beat Luke Campbell and Haney beat Jorge Linares. Nice wins. But I think they need to maybe fight each other before you move in line for Lopez. And Lopez and Lomachenko, that leads them to pit against each other. Now that Lopez is a name, he wants to fight big fights. Well, there's no bigger fight right now than Lomachenko. So he needs to take this fight and do it. So I'm hoping that this is what's next right here is Teofimo Lopez, because it's the most logical choice, but we'll see. Now, what about Gervonta Davis? He's sitting at number 3 for me. If Davis and them wanted to make the fight, they could. I just don't think they do. I mean, if Davis tells Mayweather and the PBC, fuck it, let's fight, let's make the fight, they could do it. Because Wilder and Fury have come together. This is a huge lightweight fight right here between Lomachenko and Davis. And they've been talking shit the last couple of years, so why not make the fight? But, that's up in the air. That's not up to us. That's up to them to work out a deal. So right now, I really don't see it as a possibility next for those two. Number 4 is Ryan Garcia, the undefeated WBC interim champion. Now, I'd love to see this fight, but I don't think Lomachenko is ready to take on Garcia. I think he wants Lopez, and then he wants to evaluate the rest of the lightweight division after that, after he gets his revenge on Lopez. I think he'll come back to the drawing board and evaluate, so I don't see him and Garcia next. Devin Haney at number 5. Now, this one's possible because if he's chasing down Lopez, Devin Haney's the WBC world champion, so he's kind of the secondary champion right now to Lopez as the franchise champ at 135. So this would be a good way to mandate a shot with Teofimo Lopez by going after Devin Haney if Lopez avoids Lomachenko. So I do think they were also talking about this earlier in the year. I think Bob Arum and Top Rank would make the fight, and I absolutely believe Eddie Hearn and Matchroom would make the fight, trying to push their fighters. So I do think this is possible. Next would be a rematch with Jorge Linares, who's number 6 at lightweight for me. I don't think this fight's going to happen, but if he was out of options and he wanted to just take on another top 10 guy, I think he would fight Linares, and I don't think Linares would be afraid of the rematch. So possible, not likely, but definitely possible. Number 7 would be a rematch with Luke Campbell. This fight makes no sense. I mean, he dominated Campbell over 12 rounds. Unless he wanted to fight Campbell and really prove to everybody he wants to knock him out, maybe. But then again, Campbell doesn't look like he's going to fight at 135 again. I still have him ranked there until he fights somewhere else. But I really believe it's 140 or up for Luke Campbell, after, because he was already planning on moving to 140 before he even took on the fight with Lomachenko a couple years ago. And I just really think now that he's been knocked out against Ryan Garcia, I just think he's got nothing left to try to prove at 135. And there's winnable fights, and Campbell's a very good fighter to move up to 140 and make one last run at it. So that's what I hope he does, but we'll see. He was number 7. Number 8 is a showdown with Richard Comey. Now, this is a very makeable fight. I would not be surprised if the fight got made because they're both top-ranked guys, right? Okay, so that you take that off the table. It's makeable. If Lopez doesn't want to fight, I absolutely think Lomachenko might fight a guy like Richard Comey. He's in the top 10. He's a former champion. It would make sense, but I don't think this is the kind of fight that Lomachenko would want, while he's waiting. But you never know. It could be. Number 9 is I'm drawing a blank now. Number 9 is Javier Fortuna. Now, Javier Fortuna is fighting Jojo Diaz this Friday night coming up. If he knocks off Jojo Diaz and cannot get a fight with Devin Haney or one of those guys, and Lomachenko calls him on, I mean, Fortuna would be stupid to not take a Lomachenko fight. He just would be. It'd be a great test, and if he were to beat Lomachenko, he's sitting right at the top of the division. So I don't think it's a fight that Loma wants. I think he wants bigger names, but you never know. Maybe he'll go for it, especially if Fortuna beats Jojo Diaz. So very possible. And then rounding out the top 10, you got Isaac Cruz. I don't see this fight possible for Loma. He fights with the PBC, and I just don't think it's a fight Loma would be interested in, just because he'd be a heavy favorite, and Loma would look at it as a fight that doesn't make any sense. And then also George Kambosos Jr. is tied for 10th right now. I don't see this one unless Kambosos pulls out the upset and Lopez doesn't have a rematch clause in a contract with them, because Kambosos is fighting Lopez in August. So unless he pulls off the upset, goes against Lomachenko, whatever after that, that'd be the only way. But I don't think that's going to happen unless Kambosos upsets Lopez to where Lopez doesn't want a rematch, then Lomachenko will get the fight next. I have no doubt in that. So there is that small possibility. But to be honest with you guys, I don't think Kambosos stands a chance against Lopez. I could be wrong, but I don't see it. So that's it. That's the what's next on Vasyl Lomachenko, the former 3-division world champion, unified lightweight champion, and 2-time Olympic gold medalist, following his huge 9th-round TKO victory over Masahiro Nakatani on June 26th. I hope you guys enjoyed it. True Boxing, you've been hit with the truth.